them.
All right, what time is it?
It is currently, we'll say 11:30.
11:30, so we want to be done by around 12:15.
Yeah, 12:15. 12 to 12:15 is a good time.
All right, you ready?
I am.
All right. What's up, everybody? This is the Tello Talk podcast. Glad to have you here for the first episode. My name's Bryce Norworth, also known as Donatello. A little nickname I got during football season. DB group was the Ninja Turtles. Just a little background about that. And I've always wanted to start a podcast for a while. I know he's been interested in it. So we kind of just grouped together to do this. And I know today's the big day, the Super Bowl. So we thought we needed to get this out in time so you guys could hear what our thoughts are on it. I'll let him introduce himself real quick, and then we're going to get started with our first topic.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Cameron Young, baseball player from Meridian. Played baseball all 4 years, been playing since I was 4 years old. Played football my freshman year with Bryce, wasn't too good at it, so I stopped. Love the game of football, know the game of football by heart. Dude, I'm looking forward to tonight. What are you looking forward to tonight the most?
I'm looking forward to the Bengals win. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Hey.
Well,
Repping the orange.
So we're gonna get started. We're gonna leave that Super Bowl part for the end, so you guys can hear our thoughts, and that's how we can close out with. But we're gonna start off with head coach hirings. Let's just say before we go into that, actually, me and him are very glad that this week we actually got real football.
Yep, thank God.
We don't have the Pro Bowl because that was not that fun to watch. But anyways, we don't want to get too in depth into it, but
no,
it just wasn't that entertaining. But
the most entertaining thing came out the field, and that was with Alvin Kamara. So
oh my, it is the only thing that really struck the news, but. We'll have to see what happens with him more. We're going to start off with head coach hirings. We're going to talk about who we think was a good head coach hiring. We're going to start off. I'm going to let him go. I think I have a hint on who he's going to pick here. Might be a little team bias here, but I'm going to let you start right now. Who's your favorite head coach hiring?
Well, as a Niners guy, and I mean he's basically pulling every single Niners coach over there, all the skills coaches. Mike McDaniels, man. Dude's a dog. He's a great offensive mind. He's got a really good team over there in the Miami Dolphins, team that's not really rebuilding yet, but they're on the rise. They won 7 games straight to finish out the season there. Well, they lost the final one, but didn't really matter that much. Mike McDaniels. I mean, you saw what he did with Debo. Niners had one of the best, most elusive and exciting offenses to end the year there. So he's my guy. That's my favorite hiring.
Okay. You got anything else you want to talk about, Mike McDaniel? Like, you got any other reasonings? Just Niners guy.
Niners guy, great mind. He coached under Shanahan, who's another great head coach.
That's true.
I just think out of all the coaches that were hired, he's got the most upside.
That's a good way to phrase it. Best upside there. I honestly would agree with that with players that he's got in that program. But that's not what I think is the best hiring.
Okay.
I've got 2 people in mind. Also maybe even 3. But I still think that Brian DeBoll is a very good hiring because of how bad Joe Judge was. And since going from Joe Judge to a new coach, I know we haven't seen how he does, and how he is, but coming from the Buffalo Bills, who were a very good team last year, that is such a big improvement from a guy who used to be a special teams coordinator being your head coach.
Exactly.
Because no hate to special teams coordinators, because Rich Bisaccia did a great job as the Raiders interim head coach, but special teams coordinator coaches will never be head coaches. Like, I say that there might have been history of that, but I just think, for instance, if Bisaccia became the Raiders head coach, I don't think he would have been as successful the next season than he was as the interim, because he jumped into a team that he'd already been on, like, jumped into a team, and he has not really known the aspect of being the head coach of a team during the off-season training, like mini camps. He would not know how to run all that, and he wouldn't be able to just focus on special teams. He would have to be a full coach, and that's why I think Joe Judge was so awful, because it's the Patriot way for the Giants, but it really wasn't the Patriot way. It was just Joe Judge thinking he could be a head coach, which he clearly wasn't. And Brian the Bull, now being a coordinator, will help them a lot more with their struggles, and hopefully, what I'm hoping is it will help Saquon thrive more.
Yeah.
Because he won't have, because I don't know if Joe Judge was the one calling the plays. I don't think he was, but if they get a new OC as well, because most of the time when you get a head coach, that's when you tend to get more new coordinators and a newer staff. So I'm hoping that with the Giants they get a new staff, so then they can give Saquon a better chance, because I don't like the fact that his career is being wasted in New York right now.
100%.
And as much as everybody hates Daniel Jones, I still think there's something in him that nobody has been able to get. I'm not saying he's like some franchise QB. I'm just saying he is definitely better than he is showing. And I really would like to see his true type of play. And he's got such a good wide receiver core there that they could be not great, but they could do better than they have been.
Yeah, definitely better than what did they post this season? 4-13.
Like 4-13, 3-14, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Definitely better, considering the fact that Saquon is just such a good player. I think that I totally agree with you. Saquon's career is definitely being wasted there, unfortunately. What else? I mean, also the Patriot way. I don't think I've ever seen Bill Belichick run a QB sneak on a 3rd and 9.
That is very true. I don't think Bill Belichick would do that.
No, me neither.
I know he didn't he didn't call offensive plays. Also, Josh McDaniels' job. But trust me, if Bill Belichick ever saw a 3rd and 9 QB sneak by a coach of his, he would freak out. But also another coach that I got in mind would be a little biased, Dennis Allen for the Saints. You know, I'm a big Saints guy, so. But I just think Dennis Allen, after what he's done, he's been with the team for a long time. Our defense really hasn't changed when he's been with the team, and I just think he's got a good chemistry with the team. You saw when Sean Payton was out and he stepped up, they were undefeated. It may have been only one or two games, but one of those games was a shutout against Tom Brady. So I think he can be a very good head coach. He has a very good history of being a head coach. But the Saints team, I think that he has right now is a lot more talented than the teams that he was a head coach for, like that Raiders squad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Terrell Pryor was their quarterback, I think.
Was it really?
I think so, and he plays receiver now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's my thoughts on head coaches. You got anything else on head coaches, or?
Definitely like the most upsetting thing for me with head coaching was the Raiders not just promoting Rich Bisaccia. I thought that Rich Bisaccia did a really good job, especially with all the turmoil that went on within that team. I thought that he deserved a spot, and the Raiders kind of told him, well, like, thanks for taking us to the playoffs and whatever, but I mean, you're gonna walk, as a Raider would say, well, you're gonna walk the plank. And unfortunately, that was Rich Bisaccia's fate.
And now he's with the Packers, because the Packers definitely need that special team. So, yeah. That game was a losing on the divisional round game. But if you're done with the head coach ones, we can head on to the next segment,
which is rebuild or retool.
There you go. It's rebuild or retool. It's a little section we have in mind where we're gonna pick out teams that we think could either be rebuilt or retooled. Now, the way we define rebuild or retool is rebuilding teams are teams that have been in the brink, but they need to rebuild their entire team because they're not going to go any farther with just different pieces. Retool is a team that has the potential and the young talent or players like as such that don't really need to rebuild. They just kind of need to finish up the roster. Like I'll give an example. A team like the Saints, I don't think they need to rebuild right now. They just need to retool. I think they just need to get more a established QB and receivers, and then the Saints would be fine. But
do the Saints have a first-round draft pick this year?
we do, the 18th pick in the draft.
Okay.
Jameson Williams, come on down to NOLA. I know you want it.
Do you think that a wide receiver is good for you guys?
100%. I think. Well, you saw the wide receivers we had this year. The four main receivers on our team were the fourth. I'm pretty sure the four of the lowest in average yards of separation for route.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah. I mean, it's bad when we had to sign Kevin White, who has not played a game in a year and a half, and he came out and was a good receiver for us. Oh man, rough season for Saints fans, I can tell you that. So we're gonna get started with this. We're gonna go with our first team. You just talked about their new head coach recently. It's gonna be the Miami Dolphins. I want to hear what you think first because you're the Mike McDaniel guy. I want to hear what you think about his new squad and his new roster.
Well, so the Miami Dolphins is kind of a wild card for me. You know, you can talk about how the last 7 games or the last 7 of 8 where they went on a 7-game winning streak, and they didn't really beat any good teams besides the Ravens. And I think that then the first 8 or something it was when they lost when they were 1-7, and I think that they were all teams that were over 500. I think that the Dolphins are definitely a retool team just because if Mike McDaniels can do what he did with Debo, with Jalen Waddle, then I think that the team is really good. Tua Tagovailoa hasn't proved anything yet. Do I think he's a guy? A little bit. The defense, I mean, I think they've got 2 first-round picks this year.
I'm pretty sure they traded them.
They traded them to the Eagles. The Eagles have 3. Man, the Eagles are going to be good. But, the Dolphins, I mean, Jalen Waddle is a guy. He's the guy. He showed us this year. I'm not surprised he didn't make the Pro Bowl. There's, for some reason...
I mean, the reason he didn't make the Pro Bowl is because there's so many good receivers in the AFC, so it makes sense.
So many good receivers everywhere. Dolphins are definitely a retool team. I think that they make the playoffs next year if they somehow find a way to beat the Bills in the regular season. I think that they've shown that they can beat the Patriots. They just need to beat the Bills.
That is very true. They have shown they can beat the Pats, but they're gonna have to beat the Goliath of that division with the Bills. It's kind of weird to say that because I know maybe not for older generations, but for me and our whole lives, the Bills used to be awful. They were not. The Bills were known as
bad team.
One of the worst teams because
I think the Jets were
the Jets were okay for a couple of years. The Dolphins, but had Mark Sanchez. 2010 AFC Championship. He should have won it for the culture, but he decided to lose. He didn't decide to lose, but you know what I mean.
He felt like being generous and giving the other team.
That's probably what it was.
That's what the Packers did in that NFC divisional game.
They were just taking after Mark Sanchez,
they were just.
And that's what Jaquiski Tart did in the NFC Championship. Nice interception, am I right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you're done with the Dolphins here, we'll get on with our next one.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, on to the next one. Who you got? Eagles?
Philadelphia Eagles. I know you just talked about their 3 first-round picks.
You gonna get up and do the fly eagle fly?
I ain't gonna do my fly eagle fly. I'm not a big Eagles guy. I'm not an Eagles fan, but
you should be. They're gonna be good.
All right,
saying.
You just steal the thunder from me. But as we said, they're gonna have 3 first-round picks this year on top of a playoff squad coming in, and you can make the argument that they struggle against teams over 500 this year. I think that's definitely something they need to show everybody wrong next season. Jalen Hurts is the future of the Eagles team. Devontae Smith is the future for the Eagles. Big play Slay, they got to be able to keep him as long as they can because he's starting to age. The Eagles, I think they could. What are you doing, man?
I ain't doing nothing.
Keep giving me dirty, weird looks, man. What are you doing? All right. Well, those 3 first-round picks, I don't think they're going to draft very well with them.
Of course.
The Eagles are the Eagles. Look at their history. Jalen Reagor before Justin Jefferson. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside before D.K. Metcalf. I mean, the list goes on and on. What they did do very well was Jalen Hurts in that second round of the 2020.
I thought they drafted him in the first round.
No, the second.
It was?
Mm-hmm.
This was...
he was the first second-round quarterback off the board.
That's right.
I remember that because I was confused why Jalen Hurts hadn't gone in the first round.
Exactly.
Almost like a Lamar. Like, remember Lamar was the last pick.
He was the very last pick of the first round.
And I was like, the Patriots, he's really gonna fall to the Patriots. And then the Ravens traded to the Ravens.
Didn't Lamar he won MVP his second season, right?
Yes. A lot of QBs doing good stuff in their second season. Let's hope it happens again tonight.
Yes, sir.
So with my thoughts on the Eagles, I don't think they need to rebuild. I think they showed they have a playoff roster already. They need to make some adjustments to their team, fix it, and they kind of just need to be able to compete with better teams. They just struggled completely against Tampa and Dallas too. They got destroyed against Dallas.
Dallas blows. So I'm just messing with the tape here, man. But yeah, no, Dallas. I mean, the Eagles had like their their second string in, right?
Yeah.
They didn't have any starters. They didn't have any starters, did they?
No, I don't think they did.
Yeah, I mean it didn't really matter because they got blown out.
So that second game makes sense why they got blown out. But the first game they still lost like 41-7, and that was with every start, something like that. They got blown out.
I think you're thinking of the Commanders.
No, not the Commanders. The Commanders game, I remember that.
Yeah, the Commanders got blown out.
Dallas's defense in fantasy that week.
Hold on, I gotta look this up. Keep on going.
So while he's checking that out, I'll just talk a little more about the Eagles. They could be something promising, definitely. They have the potential, and if they get enough pieces, they can win the division, in my opinion. The way the Cowboys played at the end of the season, with the playoff game at least, they're a very streaky team. I think the Cowboys are, but I also think the Eagles are a very streaky team, and it depends on moments. They're like the NFC East teams are purely based off of moments because players like Taylor Heineke, he can be amazing. Oh, this guy is the GOAT, as people like this guy is the new GOAT or whatever. But that happens in streaky moments. And then there's games like when he played against the Saints. He had moments where he was good, and then he had moments where he was awful. But the Commanders, I just don't think they're in any playoff contention anymore. I think they really benefited off of the division being awful last season. Going 7-9 and winning the division should never happen. I think if you're under 500, you shouldn't even get a playoff spot. You should at least be. You should be over 8. In my opinion, you should be 9-8 or above to be able to make the playoffs. From now on. But that's what my thoughts are on the Eagles. Did you get the thing pulled up or what?
I'm going back and I'm started at week 15 and I still can't find it. I wonder if
the first game was quite a while back. It was one of the early games of the season.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
And it was a Monday Night Football game.
So
I remember that because Trayvon Diggs.
Here it is. So the Cowboys beat the Eagles 41-21.
21.
And it was week 3.
Yeah, week 3 or 4.
Was it week 3?
3 or 4.
Yeah. No, wait. Hold on. Week 3. Cowboys beat the Eagles. Jalen Hurts had like 2 interceptions. Dak Prescott.
They're both I think Trayvon Diggs, I believe.
Trayvon Diggs
Which is he is
yeah.
heavily overrated. We could get into that
Oh my
a different time.
God, Trayvon Diggs is so overrated. Do I think he's good? I think he's
good. AJ Terrell's better.
AJ Terrell's miles better. Jaquiski Tart would be better.
I think Trayvon Diggs would benefit off of being a safety instead of a corner, because his coverage is not as great, but he could definitely be a very good safety. With the way his play set is, he plays more like a safety. He's more of a ball hawk and not a cover.
Yeah.
Because you could just put him too deep, put him on a side, and he'll just lurk over there because he doesn't have a man assignment. He'll just have a lurk. But enough about Trayvon Diggs. We don't need to talk about him. Marshawn Lattimore's better. We're gonna start with our third team. We're gonna start.
Are we doing 3 or are we doing 4?
We're gonna do 4.
We're gonna do 4.
Third team.
All right.
AFC West. I think you know who it is. Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes. You know they're going on right now. Now that he's no longer in the league in the season. He was eliminated in the divisional, as we've said.
Actually,
4-time MVP though. Very very interesting. Now, do I believe he deserves to win it? Yes, because it's a regular season award.
give it to Michael Thomas.
Should
Should have given it to Michael Thomas.
I don't know about that. You know, I'm a Michael Thomas fanboy, but he kind of didn't play all year. So
yeah, that's unfortunate.
4-time MVP is pretty good. I mean, one of the only 2 players to ever do that with Peyton Manning.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. You know,
it's like
you'd think maybe, you know, hey, 4 MVPs. Peyton Manning, he had a lot of MVPs, and then he went to Denver. He only had 1 ring before.
Am I talking about the Denver Broncos here?
You are talking about the Denver Broncos.
All right.
Let's get into the Denver Broncos.
All right, let's get into the Denver Broncos. Noah Fant is the guy. Drew Lock is not the guy. It doesn't matter. But guess what?
Drew Lock is so trash.
Huh?
Drew Lock is so trash.
He's so bad. But guess what? Here's the thing. They're not going to have to deal with Drew Lock anymore. Starting March 16th. March 16th is the start of technically the next season. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to get traded on March 16th. You know who else is getting traded on March 16th?
Drew Lock. Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Do you really think Aaron Rodgers will be traded on the first day of free agency?
I absolutely do not think so. I actually think that.
You just did. You just said it.
Well, I got a little ahead of myself. I think that March 16th to the present day, or to the start of the regular season, right. Aaron Rodgers will be a Denver Bronco.
So he will not be a Green Bay Packer.
I do not think so.
All right.
I think that he's either a Bronco, he doesn't play, or for some weird reason he goes and like plays at like, I don't know, the Raiders or something like that.
Las Vegas, I like that.
Some wild card team that nobody would expect. I mean, who?
New Orleans.
Who did I see was interested? No, Washington. Washington was interested in Deshaun Watson and Russell Wilson. I wouldn't be surprised if Washington somehow snagged Aaron Rodgers. But I mean, no, the Bronco defense has been really good. They like completely blew out the Cowboys.
Definitely not as good as their historic defense that they had.
Not at all.
But
I think that
Von Miller team is disgusting.
Yeah, I think that Von Miller leaving really drove the stake through the heart of that team. But I mean, they've got a good wide receiver group. Definitely one of the like better ones in the league. I mean, considering that like there's teams that are just Terry McLaurin and then no one else. Actually, no, Asante Samuel is on that team, right?
On Washington?
Yeah.
Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel,
Cam
Sims.
Why did they say Asante Samuel?
Logan Wilson.
Asante Samuel is the corner for.
Asante Samuel Jr. is the corner on the Chargers.
Yeah.
Asante Samuel was the corner on the Patriots.
Yeah. Curtis Samuel. No, I like Curtis Samuel, Terry McLaurin. That's a pretty good wide receiver group. I'm trying to think of one of the bad ones. The Saints. The Saints are pretty bad wide receivers.
Okay. We don't have to go into the Saints receiving core, all right? We're gonna sign Chris Godwin in the offseason. Michael Thomas is gonna come back. We're gonna draft a receiver. James Winston re-signed. We're gonna be a good team.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about the Saints. Now continue with your slander on my receiving core.
So the Broncos, if they land Aaron Rodgers or retool, I don't think that Aaron Rodgers is going to go to that team if they want to rebuild. Because, Mike McCarthy and stuff, I mean, that's why he wanted out of Green Bay. Not because of Mike McCarthy, but because Matt LaFleur was like, we're going to rebuild, and Aaron Rodgers was like, no.
Well, he also doesn't want to go to Dallas because of Mike McCarthy.
Yeah. Hey, at least you
have Dak Prescott.
Timeouts are fun, aren't they? You calling the timeouts are fun.
They didn't have any timeouts.
Exactly. That's because he called them all.
He had to, man. All right.
Broncos definitely retool if they land Aaron Rodgers.
New coach.
Don't land Aaron Rodgers. Rebuild.
New coach.
Vic Fangio is gonna leave your team here. He's taking a year off.
Vic Fangio got fired, man.
Yeah, but he was their defensive coordinator, wasn't he?
No, he's the head coach. Fangio was the head coach, man.
What am I on? Hold on.
You're crazy, man.
Vic Fangio didn't coach this year, did he?
Yeah, he did.
What did he coach?
He was the head coach.
Oh, he wasn't?
Remember Nathaniel Hackett's the head coach now?
Yeah, I knew that. The Chargers offensive guy.
No,
or not the Chargers, the Packers.
I swear Vic Fangio was the head coach last year. You can look it up. I'll tell you.
I think you're right. For some reason, I thought that Vic Fangio wasn't. Hold on.
I swear, it didn't. I think he might have gotten looked at because he got looked at by the Jags. Remember that? Until they signed Doug Peterson, which I think is a pretty okay hire.
Yeah, well, Niners wanted to bring in
Vic
Fangio.
You're just not gonna show me.
No, he was the head coach.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So Vic Fangio, and then he's taking a year off. Nathaniel Hackett, he's a good coach. He stalled out in the divisional game against the Niners. Scored a touchdown on the first drive, scored 6 points throughout the rest of the game. Definitely not what you want to do.
3 points.
Was it 3?
It was 13-10.
That's right, it was 13-10. You scored. So, I don't know. You're an offensive coordinator with the greatest quarterback in the league, and arguably.
Not of all time.
I would say the greatest quarterback in the league.
I know, I'm just saying not of all time now.
Like of present day. He's definitely
right now, yeah.
Yeah, right now. He just won MVP. He's literally the most valuable player. But and then arguably the best receiver. Top 2.
Cooper Kupp.
Top 2, not 1.
Cooper Kupp.
How are you gonna sit there and struggle with that team? I'm a little on the fence about the Broncos. Definitely think it's a retool team. Do I think that they make the playoffs next year? No.
Do you think it's determined on if Rodgers comes? Is that what you're saying? If Rodgers
comes, I think that they retool. If Rodgers doesn't come, I think they rebuild. However, here's the problem with that is I don't think that they're a playoff team either way.
You really don't think they make the playoffs with Rodgers?
No. Simply because the AFC West is so stacked with the Chiefs and then the Chargers. The Chargers, if Staley just learns to use his timeout.
If Staley didn't call timeout, the Chargers would have been in the playoffs.
Chargers would have been on the playoffs, and then we wouldn't have had to watch Ben
Big
Roethlisberger go out there and have a little bit of fun in this final game while getting blown out by 30. Like,
what a disappointment, man.
God.
We could have seen Herbert throw 60-yard bombs against whoever they would have played,
but Staley was like, they're division rivals, and they're currently driving on us with 30 seconds left, but let's call a timeout.
And then Josh Jacobs, 10-yard run.
Yeah, 10-yard rush. Yeah, Josh Jacobs, 10-yard run.
Puts him right in the field goal range.
Oh, and by the way, Daniel Carlson doesn't miss kicks.
Daniel Carlson does not miss kicks.
So there's that. So the Broncos don't make the playoffs simply because I think the Raiders are honestly a better team than the Broncos next year too.
I think
with Aaron Rodgers.
Here's my thing: is Rodgers goes to the Broncos. I think he is considered. He could be considered next season, not right now, but next season to be the third best quarterback in that division.
Exactly.
I could see Mahomes and Herbert being better quarterbacks next year than Aaron Rodgers.
Dude, watch out for Derek Carr.
Derek Carr's not better than
I'm not saying he's better.
He is the fourth best quarterback. You'd be
Derek
the fourth
Carr
best.
produced an insanely good season this year.
Do you
Aaron
know his
Rodgers.
touchdown to interception ratio?
What?
Does he know his touchdown to interception ratio?
Derek Carr?
Yeah.
It was pretty high.
It was pretty bad. It
Yeah,
was 23 to 14.
Was it really?
23 touchdowns and 14 picks. That's not something you usually want from a starting quarterback. He threw a lot of yards.
Yeah, he had like
But he didn't throw very many
4,500
touchdowns.
yards. 4,500.
Yeah, but he didn't throw very many touchdowns. So,
Well, I don't think the Broncos are a good team. Kind of like how there's a lot of teams. If you're a Broncos fan, or a Jags fan, or a Colts fan, I mean, you're probably not going to be very good.
but shout out Keenan Sanchez though, Broncos fan.
Yeah, Keenan Sanchez, Broncos fan.
But yeah, you good with the Broncos? Good with that? I think that's a
good one.
All right. I think we skip the last one for now. We're kind of trying to running low on time here.
Just so our file doesn't get corrupted again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only reason we're late on this, by the way.
Oh yeah. We recorded this on Wednesday. I don't know if you follow the Instagram, you would have seen that. But we've decided we have to get back. We have to record one before the Super Bowl so we can talk about our Super Bowl predictions. And speaking of the Super Bowl, that is what we're going to be talking about right now. We're going to keep it short, sweet, like dessert, right? Like a Pizookie. We talked about that last time. Do you know what it is?
It's a cookie with ice cream on
Cookie
top.
with ice cream on top. There you go.
If you're looking for a snack tonight while watching the big game, get a Pizookie.
Make yourself your own too. You can do that.
Dude, just make some cookies.
And put ice cream on top.
Bake. Just bake something today.
Yeah.
Seriously.
You know, Super Bowl is the second most food is eaten.
Eaten.
Well, it doesn't matter. Second, the day or the second most. Behind Thanksgiving.
Second most food eaten today.
You eat the most food behind Thanksgiving, of course.
Guess how many wings we're eating today? 13 billion. Not us. We're not us alone. It's impossible for us to do that because the amount of time you don't even live for 13 billion seconds. But like
everybody.
Dude, I'm telling you,
everybody gets to watch Joe Burrow win a Super Bowl.
People are gonna be in Europe, whichever way it is, and they're gonna be eating wings at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Watching Joe Burrow throw some
dots over Jalen Ramsey's head.
All right, well, let's get some key things that I think Bengals need to do is they got to do it whatever they can to stop that D-line because they're not going to be able to stop that D-line.
Aaron Donald's going to kill Joe Burrow today, unfortunately.
The Rams, I think, will have at least 10 sacks. If they give up 9 to the Titans, they should give up 10 to the Rams.
Yeah, but how many did they give up to the Chiefs?
Not as much.
I don't think
but
he got sacked.
Joe Burrow made up. No, he definitely did.
He got sacked like maybe once.
But Joe Burrow made a lot of good plays against the Chiefs where he would get out of sack situations that he needs to do again. So my top 3 keys for their offense would be to limit their D-line. Joe Burrow's got to make more plays like he did. And Jamar Chase is going to have to win his matchups against Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
He's going to have to win as many as he can because if he can't win them, then they are screwed. Defensively, you got to stop Cooper Kupp.
Number 1, White Boy Kupp.
Give Matthew Stafford pressure. And then third, I just think you got to out physical the Rams. I think that their D line can definitely out physical be more physical than the Rams O line. The Rams O line is very good though. But
the Rams O line is not very good. It's pretty good. I think that's the story of the game though, right? It's like which team's offensive line shows up and like the plays better because both offensive lines are like, they're
a little shaky. The Rams are definitely a lot more reliable.
Yeah, Rams is definitely a lot more reliable. I mean, the Bengals, they picked up Joe Burrow instead of Penei Sewell, and it worked. I mean, didn't Penei Sewell...
Chase?
Huh?
You mean Jamar Chase?
What did I say?
Joe Burrow.
I said Joe Burrow? I meant Jamar Chase. So they picked up Jamar Chase over Penei Sewell.
I still think Rashawn Slater was better.
Yeah,
that's the
Rashawn Slater, that's right. So Rashawn Slater made the Pro Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Didn't Penny Sewell
I
make
think
the
so
Pro Bowl?
too.
Yeah, both guys super good. Jamar Chase, I mean, literally
He's
like
incredible.
he's a top 5 receiver, maybe top 4 if you really want to cut it. I mean, it's the offensive line for me. I think that if it comes down to a run game,
Joe Mixon's gonna put a big game.
Joe Mixon, who's the X factor? Is it or who's the
Cam Akers.
who dominates the run game? The Cam Akers, Sony Michel, or is it gonna be Joe Mixon? And who else?
Samaje Perine.
Samaje Perine.
Don't disrespect him. He's not a dog.
Don't count him out. Didn't he like
41-yard touchdown run
exactly?
or screen.
Yeah, something like that against the Chiefs. Something crazy. Samaje Perine's a dog though. I think that he'll have like a decent game. He'll have a decent role. I think Joe Mixon has a pretty good game, good enough to at least like carry his own weight. I think that another thing it comes down to is T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd.
Oh yeah.
And then the Bengals secondary. I think that so. If you can't stop Cooper Kupp, you're not going to win the game because Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford are always due for that 160-yard bomb, and the game is in LA.
Yeah.
The Bengals will probably take over the stadium just because no one in LA likes the Rams. But still, you get that one electrifying moment in your home stadium for the Super Bowl. I think that if that happens anytime late in the game, the Rams will win it. But I think other than that, Aaron Donald is on a kill streak. That dude has a death notebook or whatever, and it's all it says is Joe Burrow a million times over. Aaron Donald is a scary man.
That guy's crazy.
Aaron Donald is a scary man. Also, Von Miller. I mean, Rams defense. Playoff Von. Rams defensive line is gonna absolutely go on a tear today.
Gonna eat. Yeah. So that's our little takes on how the Super Bowl will can sway either way. With the Rams electrifying plays, as you said, with Cooper Kupp. D-line just eating Jalen Ramsey win. The Jalen Ramsey Jamar Chase thing goes hand in hand. Jamar Chase is gonna have to win as many as he can. Jalen Ramsey's just gonna have to make Jamar Chase lose as many as he can.
They just also have really good chemistry. I don't know if you heard about this story about when Jamar Chase got drafted with the houses, and then
door to door.
Jamar Chase also called Joe Burrow like a god. I've never seen Cooper Kupp call Matthew Stafford a god, but that's just. The chemistry there is definitely there, but I don't think it's as strong as Joe Burrow and my main man, Jamar Chase.
All right. Well, we're going to get on to the final thing, predictions for the day. Let's hear your prediction.
I'm on the fence. I'm repping the orange because I like the Bengals. Do I think the Bengals are going to win? Not really. Simply just because the Rams offense is just, or the Rams defense is just so crazy. Like this is like, we're looking at like the Patriots dynasty for 1 year, but on steroids. The Chiefs. It's pretty much like the Chiefs, but it's pretty much the Chiefs, but on steroids. And Cooper Kupp is not Tyreek Hill. He's better. But I mean, final score prediction. I'm gonna keep it. I think it's a close game. I think it's a really good one. I think it's better than what we got last year. I'm gonna say Bengals 29-22.
Oh, so you got Bengals still though.
Bengals still though.
All right.
I think that it comes down to a final play for the Rams. I think that they don't convert.
Okay, that's an interesting one. Now I'm gonna set things straight. I hate the Rams. So my pick, you can call it bias, but I truly believe that this is how the game's going to go. I had a vision last night,
Oh, you had a vision.
I had a vision, And you know what I saw? Saw Matthew Stafford, head down. Joe Burrow, Super Bowl trophy in hand.
Cigar in the mouth.
If I was Lee Corso, I'd say, give me the tiger head. I got the Bengals winning the game. 36-33. 3-point game, very close. Bengals defense makes a stop at the end of the game to win it.
Okay.
That's what I think is going to happen. And Joe Burrow is going to come out tonight as a world champion and an NFL champion, Super Bowl champion, and Super Bowl MVP. That's how I think, and that's all I got to say about the Super Bowl.
He's got the football from.
I got the football.
He's got the football from way back in the day too. So
Way back.
Surely this means something, right?
I got that back when Andy Dalton. I got that when Andy Dalton was drafted.
Looks like it was made in 2009.
2009. That was like before he was drafted.
That was with Ocho Cinco around, right?
Ocho Cinco.
Chad Ocho
So you can't
Cinco.
call me a fake Bengals fan. I'm not a Bengals fan. I'm a supporter. You can't call me fake. That's from 2009. I got it when I was 5 years old. Okay. But I think we're good here now with our predictions.
No, I think that we got it.
We're gonna wrap this up. Make it short and sweet so it doesn't cut off on us again.
Yeah. Hey, no corruption this time. If this doesn't get uploaded, I'm gonna be pressed.
I'm gonna be very upset, but
I'm gonna be more upset than Kathy Stafford. What's Matthew Stafford's wife?
something Stafford.
I don't know, annoying woman Stafford. Anyways, I'm gonna be more upset than her when they lose tonight. If this file gets corrupted.
Well, I'm gonna wrap this up. You got anything to say?
No, man. Just everyone. Cook. Don't get wings tonight. I mean, you can get wings if you want, but I'm telling you, look up. I'm gonna look up Joshua Wiseman, Super Bowl snack guide or whatever it is. That dude will hook you up with some great stuff. That's what I'm cooking up when I leave this place. I mean, wings are boring. He makes wings in there, and they're homemade and they're good. So just everybody, stay safe. Don't drink and drive. I mean, most of our viewers are
underage.
21.
Yeah,
That doesn't really ever.
That's directed towards you, older people.
Yeah, don't drink and drive. And younger, if that's what you're into.
Don't break the law.
Don't break the law. Don't get a DUI.
Don't get
My
caught.
stepdad got one of those. I had to drive him around everywhere. It sucked. But yeah, no. Closing thoughts. Bengals are not a dynasty. They're not going to be a dynasty if they win tonight. Rams. If the Rams don't win tonight, Rams are poverty for the next 5 years or something.
I see this as it could be a chance for the Bengals to be a good team for the rest of a couple years. Not a dynasty.
Are they a dynasty? No. Are they good? Yeah.
But yeah, I appreciate you guys if you tuned in for the whole thing. I know this might be a little longer, but
definitely a little longer.
we can make sure to cut them. We'll make sure they're not as long as usual for next times. But make sure you
be a long one.
Like, subscribe. Comment down below what you think if you watch this before the Super Bowl, what you think is going to happen, who your favorite head coach hiring is, and follow the Instagram at the Tello Talk Podcast. And it was fun, and I know we're ready to do one in a couple days, maybe even.
Yeah, you're coming up on Wednesday. We got
Wednesday.
another one coming out on the Way Too Early
Way Too
preseason
Early.
rankings.
And we will see you guys on the Way Too Early preseason rankings. It's been fun. Tello Talk out.